I did the old pull the block drain out. I'm gonna just see if I got a plug for that. That just don't work worth a dang. So I pulled out the plug and all kind of gook came out. And I gotta tell you, I try to keep this thing clean. So once again, don't put your weight on that if you got that kind of radiator. Let's see. What the point of today is, we're going to be taking this out of it, which is a 180 standard old thermostat with the old hole in it, and we're going to go to this thing. And I don't know, it says it's a whole lot better, and I'm for that. So there it is right there, and it ought to fit in there just fine. We all know most thermostats, and it says 180F right there. And this one's kind of a pain to get the hose off and everything. But yeah, that fits right in there and stays. I got a real good gasket there. The kind of hose that I use here is this kind. I know that that's not correct, but boy, this stuff's tough. And this is like for fuel hose even. So that's pretty good stuff. So that goes there because we're not going to use it. And we are going to go into the alternator wiring here very soon. And let's see if I got a plain old plug. And that's just, I've never seen them really leak through that, but I just don't ever drain them that way because you can't get all the guck out of it, you know. So you just might as well just put a regular plug in, make your life easier. You don't have to get a wrench behind the little wing nut that you never can remember which way it goes. So let's just see if I got a plug. If I don't, I'll just stick it back in. So the extra great thermostat is in there. The coolant has been filtered, and a good thing too, because that's what I got out of it. Not pretty, huh? So anyway, filtered, and I'll tell you now, this is the Evans stuff, so it's very expensive and seems to work okay in most things. I can't say all things. So let's talk about alternators. I might be the only man alive that is going to talk about this because it's hard to find. And I'm going to be real careful when I put in the description of this video what I'm talking about. Honda Mitsubishi 4-prong battery cable, and it earths, okay? Now, there's the big battery cable right there, okay? And then there are 4 plugs in the back, and I got them marked ignition, S, F, R, and L. And I'll tell you a little story that I happen to have learned. Now, here is the diagram of this. Now, you can find this diagram just about everywhere you look, almost, okay? So, this is IG ignition, and it goes to a switch, your ignition switch, and then to the fuse box load. You know, you come back to whatever load you're going to have, okay? You understand that? And then there's your battery with a fuse going to the battery side of the alternator. So IG ignition, and then you come back and then you power up. I'm going to just put this right here for now. And then you power up this baby here. I got 4 of these and 2 of them work the other way. So, and the other clue I'll give you, I'm going to tie all these wires up in a minute. This prop rod right here will foul on these wires if you're not careful. So keep all this as neat as possible. And I actually have one that says Lucas on it. And so you power that up, and you can do that however you want to. And I got some Lucas fuses in there, appropriate things. And then it goes snap, okay? And so let me tell you what these things do. Now the FR one we won't be using. Oh, where did I put the diagram for it? Hang on a second. Let's see if I can find that diagram. So when you're looking at the back of the alternator and the battery connections down there about 5 o'clock, and the plug is right there, and I've got 3 of the wires in them, and they look like this. The two in this configuration, the way the alternator is on this vehicle, with, whoa, big storm. So there's the battery one, like I said a minute ago, at 5 o'clock, and you see where I have that one marked, FR. And it looks like this. So there are 2 horizontal ones on the top and 2 vertical ones on the bottom. And I'll tell you what they are. It took some time. So FR hooks up to your computer. Well, the only computer in here is me, so it don't hook up to me. So FR will remain a dummy. S is a sensitivity or stabilizing wire. And that you wire that into the battery wire so the alternator can charge your battery perfectly and keep the load off the alternator just from going dizzying standards too high all the time like I did, and that's probably what burned it out, but it did pretty good for a long time. So your battery and your alternator can last a whole lot longer if you hook your S wire to your battery wire. See, S to battery. And then your IG goes to your ignition, L goes to load, or what, better said, lamp. I'm sorry, not load. I was thinking of a relay. Lamp. So you come out of the alternator, you go to the lamp in your dash, and you go across to before the switch, and right into the ignition wire coming out of the alternator. And if your alternator goes out, the lamp will come on. I think it comes on when the key's on, but the engine's not running and all that other stuff. And I will tell you something else. Remember that a lot of cars do not turn the alternator on for up to 60 seconds, maybe more, on some cars, and it just helps the engine warm up a little bit. So don't go thinking that your alternator's bad without running it for a while. Run it for 3-4 minutes and then check your alternator, because I've read that in the instructions on the thing. So your battery goes up, and then you go to your load, and then you go to the battery connector, IG, ignition switch, lamp if you want it, but this S wire I didn't do. The only cables I had on my old alternator that burned up were the battery one and the IG one, the ignition one. That's all I had. And I'm not going to run a lamp in this thing. I find it to be senseless, because I have this lovely little gauge here that tells me how I'm charging. So out of an old boat we had, I've had to make, I forgive it. I hope you forgive me, but I've had a hell of a time with my channel. So Bobby's Shop 2, I'm going to let go dormant. We're back to old Bobby's Shop, and I'm just trying to reload and do what I can do. So I know some of this stuff might be repeating on some other videos, but I don't know what's out there, to be honest with you. So I'm just trying to do my best. I love helping people on this channel, because I've gotten so much help off of YouTube on everything at all, in the world, just about, within reason. I didn't find a wife or nothing on it, but anyway, so that's the way that looks. And I dug. I actually had to find the 3 connector, and luckily I had marked my old alternator before I turned it in. I had marked it when I got it, and I transferred those marks to this one, and a couple of those saved me. So I think we're going to be okay. Let me tie up some of these wires. I know y'all wondering what this big thing is here. That's an amplifier for my subwoofers and stereo and everything. It's very old, and it's okay. It's okay right where it is. So let's get some coolant in there. I got that plug back in down there, and I got me a battery cutoff thing over there. You'll see those everywhere. I like that particular kind. And I'm going to put those on everything I got. I finally have given up and decided to do that. So boy, it's getting dark out there, and it ain't time to be getting dark. So it's starting to look a little scary. Ooh, kids, scary. Sunset right over here in about 3 hours. Ooh, here comes the rain. The big raindrops. Yeah, I think I better stand on back in here. Man, it got dark. Okay, so I've got this system where I can pressurize the system and check it before I put fluid in it, especially the expensive stuff. And this is like a 4 or 5 pound system. She's on 5 pounds right there. And we're going to just let that stay for a little bit. I'm going to go get some Gatorade. And looks like it's going to be fine. So I'm looking forward to cranking this up and getting it going and getting these wires. I'm going to tie these wires up while that's, I guess that's been about 8 or 10 minutes. So we're going to just put that right there and just let it kind of stay. I think it's fine. But let's, I want to get this, I ran the test light over here to see if the lamp went out when I started the motor and revved it up, and it did. So, but I'm not going to pull the dashboard apart for that. I mean, it's a flipping downpour. It's kind of curtains of downpour. And it has cooled off about 20 degrees. There it is. Well, welcome to the Carolinas. Yeah. Believe it or not, it's been a while. Let's see. Still raining. Yeah, we're holding 5 pounds. So we can let that off and take that off. It didn't fit too wonderfully anyway. I guess I'll show you this kit if you want to see it. I have several of them. I have one that works really, really good with running air through it and getting your Venturi effect. I don't even know where that came from. Somewhere on Amazon, but that's what it looks like. More here than I'll ever need. But, okay, that goes up in there. All right, so we got that going for us. We're going to crank her up in a minute and check the dwell again. The dwell was just a couple of degrees too much for my taste. It's not supposed to be more than 54. It was a little closer to 60, 56. And I just thought I'd give it a try. And I got the air cleaners on. I got my wiring looms all taken care of. That's up. I put all these on the other cars. Kind of waiting on some other things to happen. Okay, well let's put coolant in it and try not to spill it all over the radiator. And let's crank her up. Well, let's see what we got here. Now, we're showing, now I don't imagine that I'm going to see the wild fluctuations. Well, you can't see that a little bit, can you? In this because of that S-wire. Watch that S-wire go. So, let's say I got plenty of gas. This is kind of set up on the Canadian running light when the key is on thing. So she's all primed up and hopefully she will go and the bonnet won't fall down. Ooh, yeah, ooh, good pressure real quick. All right, let's go out here and look around. And, we're not going to worry about the cooling fan yet. Dwell's too high. I'm gonna mess with that. This is so worthwhile doing. So let's see how it did. And okay. Just man, it's just a hair. So that's 54. That's 50. I'm sorry, my phone went off. 54. And 56 is okay. So that's okay, that's got her. So we'll take that off now. She started better. They'll do that. Now let's put that there. I'm gonna need that on the bottom. She's running pretty good. She's kind of okay with that. Nothing's pouring out of it, I don't think. Those stains were there from before. So there's nothing. I know I could have cleaned that up, but you can watch. If it drips, you can see it falling on the puddle. Whew. Well, I tell y'all, I'll take that. Silly lift rattling around. All right, well, we're about to call this a day, and let's just see. Turn my fan on. Yeah, she's working. Let's turn her off and see. Now, see where she is, boys. I can. Let me look real carefully. You can see her moving around some. So she's right. Yeah, there she is, bucking a little bit. We're gonna turn her off. And turn her on. Yeah, she's charging. Now, what she used to do without hooking up that S wire was going over into the black, like 16 something volts. So I can see where, so you run the fan, you can see. The fan's got a relay, so she ain't making a big difference about that. Yep, I see her bumping. It looks to be a lot more controlled. I will take that all day. All right, so let me turn this fan back on. All right, so I think we're gonna close that deal right there. I haven't even driven it with this new exhaust system on it. Whew, smells like that sweet smell of some coolant you dropped somewhere. And got a nice single exhaust now. Instead of, there were 4 pipes out of the back, 2 on each side. And so they're gone. The lights look good and strong, and she's doing great. Let me let her heat up, and then I'll check the coolant tomorrow. But I do want to make sure that this gets hot. Good oil pressure, temps coming up. Tachometer, look how steady that is. That makes you feel good. Now, I did a video, but it's lost. I took the pedestal, the distributor pedestal off, and cleaned it through the ultrasonic and re-lubricated all the brass fittings down in there. And all new wires, they're solid wires. Don't do that if you got electronic ignition. I got to street time it and all that other good stuff. So I mean, got a lot to do, and we'll do that. I just want that thermostat. I feel the hot water down at the bottom coming out. She only is a 4-pound cap, but she really shouldn't be developing that because of the kind of coolant that's in it. So we'll see about that. Now I can sort of think about her and all of that good stuff. Yeah, she's hot now. Seems to me like I might need a little more spring action down there to bring the throttle back. Let me check the brake lights, because that was a problem I was having too. A lot of these old cars use the pressure system. Anybody can tell me where the pressure switch is on a Jaguar E-Type, you're somebody, because they bury that about as far down as they can. There's the there's my little mirror. There you go. Nice and bright. And there's the way I do this, if you're wondering. And I got a little circuit breaker on that. Yeah, she's plenty hot now. Now this car was somewhat renowned for running on, well, maybe a good carburetor and everything tune-up is all she needed. So we'll let her sit here, and I tell you, I can't stand it. Now she's not supposed to develop any pressure. Nothing there. I wasn't afraid. Now don't you do that, because you can get severely burned. Yeah, she's smoky. So I think that's all I'm going to do. It looks like she could hold more, but I don't know how much more of that stuff I got. But I got to tell you, the main reason I got the Evans Don't Corrode Nothing is because of this car. You cannot have corrosion in those blocks. These, if you flush them out now and then, you're in pretty good shape. So that's, how much is in here? Nothing. Well, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put fluid in here and nothing in here. And if it needs it, when it cools off, it'll vacuum up a little bit in there. So, okay, well that's it. She's a funny looking thing, isn't she? That's because I'm a funny looking thing. And you make it funnier for me by hitting the subscribe button. I sure would appreciate that. So give me a thumbs up or a like, or if I have that able, I don't know. But please subscribe. And I hope that you four-wire Japanese guys that might have had some problems or whatever. Now remember, that fits a 2002 Honda Accord V6, I think. And fits other Mitsubishis, but you hardly ever see that 4-pin connector. So that S-wire is going to be key here. All right, so let's take the battery off here. Why did that seem? Just because it did move. Well, let's fix that. Okay, talk to you later. Looks like rain. Woo.